hairdressers are dropouts from school.
Have you ever had someone in your career call you just a hairdresser? Or sometimes you might struggle with your own internal dialogue? Welcome to the Beauty Grail podcast, the place where the industry's most curious, ambitious, and creative artists come to learn, grow, and stay inspired. I'm Ali, founder of the Beauty Grail, and in each episode, we sit down with the artists, educators, and innovators shaping the future of the hair and beauty industry. From behind the chair to behind the brand, these are the stories, tools, and conversations designed to elevate you and your career. Because we all know you're not just a hairdresser. You're a business owner, a creative, an educator, a therapist, a content creator, and a chemist. The name of this podcast was inspired by our friend Natalie Ann. Some of you may remember she kicked off a social media series in 2025 called Not Just a Hairdresser. The Queen herself will join us on episode 2, where we will talk more about the meaning behind the name. But for now, let's get into episode 1. One of the biggest drivers behind creating the Beauty Grail was recognizing that the industry has world-level talent, but not everyone has equal access to learning from them. What excites me is giving every hairdresser from regional towns to big cities access to the kind of education and mentorship that changes careers. Joining me today is Kaine and Ayden Vakai, the co-founders behind House of Vakai. Kaine Vakai is a global educator, creator of the 7cm tape weft method with digital hair supplies, Redken artist, and ambassador for Kaleo. Ayden Vakai was originally from the banking and finance industry, is a business and brand manager behind House of Vakai, founder of the business series, mentor and business educator. Welcome, Kaine and Ayden, to Not Just a Hairdresser.
Yeah. What a wrap.
You like that little intro, dog?
I loved it.
Did you like the intro?
Thank you.
So bad.
Thank you. Now, obviously, we know each other quite well, working with each other over the last 6 to 12 months. But for anyone that doesn't know you both or your stories, Can you please tell us how you got started in the industry?
Yes, we've definitely caught up in our backyard at the table.
Many a meeting held at that table.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you start first, right?
I'll jump first. Well, mine goes way back with my family. So I grew up out west in Mount Druitt. I'm one of 5. My mum, my nan, my auntie are all hairdressers.
Your nan as well? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, my nan was the one who opened up the salon first in Layla Park, so like near Blacktown. And yeah, I did my apprenticeship with my family. I always knew I was going to be a hairdresser. So like for me going to school, like it was something that felt really natural. I went back to school. I had to go there every single day in primary school when I was like year 3, year 4, going there, styling hair. And yeah, that's literally how it got started. I did my apprenticeship with my mum. I was there for 3 years. And then I moved out to Miranda, which is where I met my husband.
How old were you when you kicked off your apprenticeship?
I was doing a school-based apprenticeship. So I was in year 9.
Yeah, so 14 for 9 months?
I was 14
for 9
months.
months.
Yeah. And I was working, even thinking about it now, like I was still working. I was working with my mum doing my school-based, but on weekends I was actually traveling out to Hornsby and worked with a lady named Mary on Saturdays. It was called Head Candy, Body Candy.
Shout out to Mary.
Shout out to Mary. They did solariums and everything because back then it was all legal.
Oh, can they just bring back the solarium, please?
Yeah, so I used to have to clean the bed every single time. So I would spray 3 wipes, left to right. Yeah. I did that
Hustler
every
from 14.
Saturday. And I would catch a train out there. It was 2 hours every time to get there and back. Every Saturday, 8 o'clock start. And I used to finish at 4 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got into, as soon as I was going to go to year 11 and 12, so I full signed up, was going to keep going with my school-based apprenticeship. And a week before, I said, no, I'm not going to school. I said, I was going to school more for the sake of the social side, not for actually wanting to be at school. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I'm going to leave. I'm going to do my apprenticeship. And that's when I left and just started going full time.
So
crazy.
3 years with your mum in your mum's salon, and you qualified there?
Qualified there, finished up there.
I think she just signed him off to get him out.
She did. She signed me off. She signed me off a year earlier, not going to lie. Was I a good hairdresser? Probably not, but it's all right. The confidence was there at that age. So, I did my apprenticeship, left there when I literally turned 18. So, turned 18, went out to Miranda, and that's kind of where it started. I started working in another salon in there. I'm going to dig deeper actually, because I'm like, wait, what? That's not even my full story. Like, if I dig deeper, like I started working in a salon in Miranda. It was called Quick Cuts and Color. And I was there for 3.5 years. But when I was there, it was like one of the best moves for me at that time in my life, because I worked with such a great salon. There were so many people there who I'm still good friends with now, who also still do hair. And I started managing in there. Started going to, he opened up a salon in Burwood, he opened up a salon in Liverpool, started traveling to all 3 of the salons. And it kind of got me the gift of understanding what management looks like. Even though I worked with my mom, it was so different. I was a kid. Like I kind of didn't look at that side. All I cared about was doing a blow dry, cared about doing colors. Then when I got into the salon here, I started to get into a little bit more of that side of it. And that's kind of where it kind of kicked off. And then we went and looked at a space across the road in Miranda, which was a space that is a salon now as well. And it kind of just didn't happen then because we went and looked at it. He closed the salon in Miranda really quickly, and that's another story. Don't get into
There's
that.
some tea there that we don't need to
That's another
unpack.
story. But it closed really quickly, and I went across the road because I wanted the whole team to come. I was like, everyone, let's just go across the road, open up this salon, I'll do it, and we'll call it Quick Cuts and Color. And just redo it again. That was what was going to happen. And then 5 days into it just didn't feel right. It felt like we were getting freaked out. The money, we were kids, we were 22. We didn't have much savings behind us, and it was kind of rushed. And I think I was so used to working because at the time it was in a Westfield salon. Nothing wrong with Westfield salon or anything like that, but it was just not the way I wanted my salon to be ran. But I think it was so comfortable for me to run it like that. I felt like I had to do it. Then I went to a salon called Mark Gardner, which Mark Gardner was in Curie, which is our first salon. And that was the game changer. I went there, and the first thing I said to him before he even hired me, I said, I want my own salon. He said, I want my own salon, but I'm not confident. I'm nervous. And I wasn't ready. 3 months into it, that's kind of how it started. He then said, buy this off me. And then the conversation happened. Yeah.
Wow.
3 months into
so
it.
how long? Wow. So you bought it after 3 months.
After all, well, it took me.
The conversation was after 3 months.
It took me 8 months to do it because I was scared.
Yeah.
I was so scared because I was so worried. It's like
Well,
the
you-
financial side.
22 at that stage.
22. I was scared to do a whole. Like I was just scared. I was doubting myself. I didn't feel good enough of a hairdresser. I'm going to be honest. I felt because there was a salon that I was going to go and try and apply to because it was like the it salon back in the day in our area. But I was like, I can't go there because I'm not up to the standard. So I felt like I just couldn't do it then. And then that's kind of how long it took. Mark, I'm very grateful. He, in that time that we said yes, even though we weren't taking over the salon, he went and started working in Sylvania. He was like, you guys will be fine here. Do your thing. Still getting managed by Mark and Julia, who was the manager at the time. And it kind of just helped transition the process because I didn't feel like I had Mark there. So it kind of felt like I started to make a few little moves because he allowed me to do it. And then that's when it kind of felt more organic. 7 months later, took over, did our opening. We were going to keep Mark Gardner's name, but then I felt like it was time. And he told us, don't keep it, change it to yours. And then that's when we started Kaine Vakai Hair Artistry. In our 6
What
chairs.
was the name going to be before? You wanted something else.
No, it was going to, oh no, oh don't, that's.
Tell us.
My
Tell us.
It was going to be bougie. No.
Oh, it was something like
Oh, what was it?
bougie scissors or
It
something.
was-
Bougie,
Oh my
bougie
God, it was
blowout.
gonna be
Yes,
something.
it was bougie
Oh,
something. It was it was Kaine Bougie Hair or something like that. But
Yeah.
it was because I wanted
BOUJEE, and I was like,
That was not Ayden
absolutely
Vakai
not.
approved.
No,
But
I was like,
my mum's salon name. If I tell you what my mum's salon is, Hair Lalicious. So love you, mum, but no, that's not it. And before that was Libex, which was my mum's, my auntie Liz, and then my mum's name's Rebecca. So it was Libex Hair put together.
okay,
so-
you don't need to be mean.
Yeah, that
No,
sounds
I'm
mean. Yeah, that's right. She knows.
We can't edit that out.
No, we can't edit that out. That's there. But yeah, that was what I wanted it to be. But we started off. It was me and Emma, who works with us now, who's our salon manager.
So 22, 23 when you officially took over and became
I think
hair.
we were, it
Kaine
was
Vakai Hair.
2019?
Yeah,
No, 2018?
Yeah, it was
maybe?
2018.
2018.
it was
So
2018.
7 years.
It was 23.
Yeah, 23
Yeah.
when we took over.
But it started at 22 because
Yeah.
it was the year before. And I know exactly, it was the year before.
Yeah.
My birthday's in December. And then we took over in the March time
Yeah.
because that's when we had our launch party. So I knew
Yeah.
that's kind of the step process. So it started in 22
the
and
27th of March
Yeah.
was the day.
yeah.
I
Trust
remember.
Ayden to remember the
Yeah, I
exact
know.
date.
I remember the party though.
Yeah, of course.
And we went to the city after.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of
Literally.
how the journey
Yeah,
started.
so Kaine Vakai Hair Artistry.
Yep.
Yes.
Came back our hair artistry, birthed that. COVID happened. So this was
Yeah.
it was not even a year before COVID happened. So it was
Yeah.
like just happened. Then we're going into that year. COVID came around, salon got closed, freaked out at the start.
Mm.
In all honesty, though, we were very, 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 very lucky
Yeah.
because we did not have an issue when COVID came around. Obviously, it's different for every single person, but we didn't have.
Well, I think the reason for that was because we were going into opening a new space. So we had the
Yep.
ability to sort of design it in a way where every chair was 1.5 meters apart,
Yep.
and we had all that spacing. So then we were
Yep.
lucky enough to be able to like trade.
And
Yeah.
still do that. And yes, it was still scary
Mm.
because, you know, obviously financially we didn't know how long, like
Yeah.
closing and all those types of things.
Yeah.
But we took the risk because it felt right. We were like, no, we need to do it because the salon that we had, even though, you know, we were in a beautiful space when we first opened, it was 6 chairs. We did grow into, you know, having 6 staff members in that period of time that we were there for over just under a year.
Shit show.
It was a shit show.
Absolute shit show.
And we knew that it was time to go, do you know what? Even if COVID wasn't here, right, we're going to need to move regardless because we want to keep expanding. The goal was to keep growing, keep putting more team members on, to grow our space. And I wanted to really have the aesthetic space that felt right for our business. I wanted to have the luxurious space that we have now. And, you know, we wanted to just keep growing. So we took the risk and we did it. And that was in November because we opened November 8th. I know the date because I remember my first content day that we did in the salon. And, you know, we moved into that space. COVID was still apart. We still had to wear masks. Our chairs are built was the 1.5 square meter rule. So we know exactly all that. And we did it. So then we could have all of our team members working still. And then that's kind of when it evolved into Kaine Vakai Hair Artistry, but 2.0 in the new space.
Yeah. And then didn't stop at Kaine Vakai.
And then it didn't stop there. It fucking kept going. It's still keeping going. But then from there, we... Oh, there's so much. Oh my God. When I actually sit here and talk about the story now, I'm like, holy shit, there is actually a lot. And I know we're going to dive into heaps, but like, we then got into that space. In that space, we started off, there was 11 of us at that time as well. So when we moved from there, we hired another 4 people before we opened. Even though we knew we were taking the risk again, it felt right though. We were showing up on social media daily. We were building, you know, we had the bookings coming through. It wasn't like we felt like we had too much going against us at that moment. Everything was really positive and going in our favor. So hired more people, did our opening day. And then that year was focusing on the salon because it was November, went into the new year. And then I started education. That's when I was like Digital Academy with Redken, did my online course. Oh my God, I feel like there's so much now when I'm thinking about it.
When
Just a
did
snapshot.
how long after that did it become House of Vakai then?
Well, yeah, that was House of
Only-
Vakai sort of birthed at like 12 months ago.
12 months ago.
Yeah.
We only just started it. The reason why as well is because it was time to... I wanted to feel separated from the business, not because I don't love my business. It just felt like it was time for me to separate my name with my team because my team are like fucking awesome. Like the team that we have is just amazing. And I don't want them to feel like
the team.
the shadow at all. And it's not that they do feel that, but it just felt like my name on the door doesn't make sense when there's everyone in the house, right? Which is the whole story of House of Vakai.
I love that. That's so... I've actually we've never talked on that. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, you do have such a great team.
The name was like Ayden thought of the name years and years ago, and it just didn't feel right then. We're like, oh no, not the House of Vakai. And then it came around to it, and I'm like, it has to be.
But then after our 10-year long engagement, and then we got married, I was like, well, it makes sense to be House of Vakai.
Yeah. What a story coming from, what was it? Bougie blower.
Bougie hair cane.
BougieHairCane.com scissors.
What was I thinking?
.com scissors. Lol.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Lol.
Yeah.
And so when did you guys actually get together?
2014.
Yeah.
We got together.
We're 19.
Yeah.
And
Where at?
19.
At the Arc.
Trash alley.
At the gay club where everyone
smoking
meets.
area.
We met briefly on Tinder.
Oxford Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met briefly on Tinder before, but it was like, you know, everyone on Tinder just swipes.
Yeah.
And you just swipe and you just connect with 10
You get a
people.
sore finger swiping.
And then
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to say what I did. And then you just meet up with half of them.
Yes. No.
So you met
2014.
And when did you
Yeah.
start working together?
Well, when the business first
the
opened.
first year.
Yeah.
It started.
Yeah.
It was like the
It
first
was
3
a couple
months.
months in.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of like, I was going to say like when I got into my journey and then transitioned over, but
Yeah.
So tell us about your journey because I think it's such an interesting one. Like you guys have worked
It's a
together
bit of
for
a different-
so long.
yeah.
But I just love your journey and your story and how you kind of came about coming into the industry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was definitely, I've worn a lot of hats in my career.
You're very good at it.
Thanks, Dom. Yeah, no, like, you know, I didn't even know that you did solariums and that. That's so weird.
Yeah.
But see, when he was doing solariums, I was working at my uncle's butcher shop at 12 years old, getting $50 on a Saturday, cash in hand. This little gay boy scrubbing like blood and guts off the walls of the
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 14, I forged my mum's signature so I can get a job at Macca's because I wanted to work and start making money. And then, yeah, literally started. I thought I was going to be the CEO of McDonald's at one point, and that was going to be my like be all end all. And then I think when I think I was 17, that's when I went into the hotel industry. And then I loved the hotel industry because I've always been, I guess, in a service background. But yeah, when I went into that job is when I was like really open to like the corporate world, team management, finance, like loyalty. I took care of like the loyalty program
Mhm.
there. And then unfortunately, when you get, you climb the ladder in the hotel industry, you get paid really shit. And fun job, but yeah, it wasn't the best. But what I absolutely took away from that industry was that, I was working at an airport hotel. So there'd be like 11 o'clock at night. I'd be packing up ready to go home, and then 300 people would walk in off like a delayed Jetstar flight and need a room. Half of them don't speak a word of English. So like that tested the customer service skills.
Build that foundation.
Oh, doll. Built the foundation. And I think it was, yeah, it was customer service. It was, resolution skills. It was people management. It was organization. It was also, I think, where I matured the most because I used to be, and still probably am, a defensive person, but I definitely.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Maybe just with him. But I think I learnt like the art of knowing where to bite your tongue in the service industry and to be professional and mature and understand that, when people sort of take their frustrations out, it's not at you directly, where I used to take things like everything really personal. And I think I learnt and matured and in a way just learnt to put that like distinction between what's business and what's personal. But then I think we were in early talks when I was still in hotels about wanting to open a salon. And then it kind of never happened at that point, but it was something that sort of started to come into the radar. Not in a million years did I think I would ever be in the hair industry myself. But then that's when I wanted to be a real estate agent. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I need to give it a go. If I don't do it, I think you said, you were like, well, if you don't try it, you're not going to know
Yeah.
if you like it or not. And then, yeah, I was literally there 4 weeks to the day. I hated it. It was so cutthroat. Like, bless him, the director or the principal at the place that I worked, he was like such a nice guy, but I just learnt really quick that it was like super cutthroat, man. And it was like, I was cold calling like people's families that had just lost like a loved one, and you had to like hound them to get get their house on the market and stuff like that. So yeah, it just wasn't for me. The office was like dead silent. I was used to like energy, loud, massive team, like, a staff team of like 200. And, had a team myself that I was managing of like, 20 to 50 people. So I went from that to sitting in like a dead silent office, not even with music playing in the background. I was like, this is not for me. And I think that was the first time ever, literally since working at Macca's, that I was like, nah, I need to find something else to do. And then I'd always been really good with money and finance, and like I used to do like budgets for all my girlfriends back in high school. I was just like naturally good at maths, came like second in our year for the HSC, no study. And it was kind of just sort of makes sense. I saw this job come up online for a position in the Westpac Group in Cogra and in their head office there to do like, banking and lending over the phone, and, started like low level management of like people's like, when someone calls up and you help them out with their finances or you get them approved for a loan or this or that. So that was kind of like when I started slipping into that realm, touching in it. And I thought I was always good at money before, until I got into the banking industry. It like opened my eyes up to so much more stuff, and, how to make money work for you, like how to use like a credit card, even just like simple things like, a credit card, how to get the most out of it and how to use it and, make it work for you, make the points work for you, all that sort of stuff. And then I think we worked there. I worked there for was coming up to 2 years. And then that's when we sort of like opened up the door for the first space, our first salon. And then I dropped to part-time there because I was like, I'll use my, skills that I've developed in the in the salon, and originally it was just going to be like admin work, taking phone calls,
Yeah.
taking the money. And then I think we were so under the pump one day in there. Kaine's like, let's go out the back and get a tint. No, I just need you to mix me this. And I was like, what the fuck is a 4NA? I'm like, I have no idea what that is. And then anyway, I mixed it up. And then I think, we can talk about it. I slapped a tint on and I was like, why do I kind of like doing this? And then, it just sort of happened. And then, I think I was the world's longest apprentice that was not signed up.
It just transitioned.
And then it just happened. And then
You just went all in after that.
Yeah.
went all in. I think it was only like 2 or 3 months in. I quit my job at the bank and I was like, I think I'm needed here full time. And then it was just a bit of a juggle. And then, the rest was history after
started.
that. Yeah.
Just organic.
It just organically happened.
You know? And then, here's me talking about foils and bloody face framing shit and all that. And I'm like, never in a million years would I have thought that I'd landed in hair.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, when I think back on it now, I was like, we had, I think, the blessing like with Kaine and I is that we do have such, and since we met, we have like such similar goals in life and business and like talking real, like that's a very rare thing in the straight world, let alone, the gay world, like to have people that are, can work together, be aligned with their goals and things like that. And I think it just naturally happened. And
here we are.
And here we are.
So full-time in the salon.
Full-time in the salon.
How long had you been dating for at that point?
Oh, we were together for
3 years? Would it be 3
4
years?
years.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Nearly 4 years.
Yeah. It's a real testament to your relationship because you guys do everything together.
Literally.
Yeah, we do.
Like, I mean, we talked the other week and Kaine was in Europe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you were
was the
just like,
first
oh my
time.
God.
And I was
Yeah.
like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Even I was there and I was like,
Yeah.
this is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
Yeah,
was
because you
weird.
travel, like you work together, you travel
Yeah.
together.
Everything. And it's the
Literally.
first
You
time.
walk Chloe together.
Yes.
Literally.
And
Our
next
daughter.
year, like, it's like.
You've even started gymming together
Yeah.
still.
Well,
Part-time,
his is a
or is
bit
that
more-
part-time?
His is a bit
Part-time.
more intense than mine. So
Mm.
I'm like,
Casual.
Casual, yeah.
I'm the kind
Casual
of,
pass.
if I go to the gym and someone tells me what to do, I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I'm doing my own thing. No,
Yeah.
it's my own zone.
Yeah.
Don't tell me
So
what
that's
to
the
do.
only thing you're happy to do separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
In the presence, but separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understand.
Yes.
Now, if we go back to the beginning,
Yeah.
I would love to know what were some of those early influences and that moment you realized that like hair was your thing. You know, I mean, you've talked about it separately, but
Yeah.
surely
Yeah.
there was a bit of a turning point together
Yeah.
where you both like, we're onto something here.
Yeah. Well, I think you're probably best to start with that because you started a lot longer than me.
I think for me, honestly, it's different though, because I think for some people, it either falls into their lap, it either comes natural. I think for me, I was just very blessed that I was brought up in the hair world. So like from a kid, I've known nothing else, right? And with all my brothers and sisters, none of that, they all hated it. They were like, I don't know, like, why would you want to do hair? And I was just always like playing with the dolls' heads when I was a kid. Like you know how, okay, you know how when you're a girl, when you're younger, and you would normally cut yourself a fringe and get in trouble off your mum. I cut my sister's fringe.
Really?
My 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember I cut her a fringe and
Too short?
way
or
too
crooked?
short. And my mum, oh my God, because
Conniption.
muscle memory, that moment, I just remember it. But like, I just always knew I was going to do it. I had straighteners as a kid, straightening the dolls' heads with synthetic hair would burn on it. I got in trouble for that. Like, I remember all the things. So it was natural for me. So I think the breakthrough was I always knew I was going to be a hairdresser and I always wanted a salon. It was my dream goal as a kid. I'm like, I'm going to have a salon one day. I'm going to have a salon one day. So it was like kind of that happens. But I think it just like when I look at it now, it never feels like even now, like it doesn't, I never thought that would be sitting and doing what we're doing now in this career. That's nothing that I've ever felt.
Yeah.
I think that kind of took time, confidence, and I think that took business for us to learn that, you know, what we had coming. And I think that just took us confidence and actually knowing that, wait, fuck it, we can do this stuff. But that takes time. We're kids when we first started. So I think that's something that kind of didn't happen naturally, but it happened naturally. Does that make sense when I say it like that?
Yeah, it does.
Like, it's happened naturally because we've had to go through stuff, we've made mistakes to grow and to learn. And then, you know, that's where it's become natural, but it was never natural from a kid. It was just like being a hairdresser was natural, but doing what we're doing now is not natural. Now it's a whole different level. So yeah.
I mean, even hearing that story about like when you first kind of like wanted to take over the salon
yeah.
and then he moved salons. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you can hear that in your voice when you hear
Yeah.
that story about how that
Mm.
progression kind of came about.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it felt like, it's like it all happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we went to this salon, it didn't work out, didn't feel confident. We went to Mark
Yeah.
Gardner, we were there for 3 months. And I say this to every single person,
Mm.
every person that I've done classes, educate, it's always my backstory and let everyone know, because it was like it just landed in our pockets. It was like that was meant to happen. The universe put it there. And even though we were scared, doing it, it felt like that was the journey. And I'm so glad, because the starting point of where we started, like I loved that place. Like I loved that salon, like, you know, so it's just crazy. Like
It just got a bit hectic.
Yeah, it just got hectic, and it's still hectic, but I love it.
It's always hectic.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
I could
you imagine?
I could not imagine. I actually could not imagine.
I would, no, I couldn't.
No.
Even thinking about that, I'm like, oh, boring. It's the way it is, and I just love it. So,
But I think that's why, you know, our clients love it too, because they love coming in, feeling that energy. One day, Kaine might have DEFCON on. The next day,
not anymore.
Emma, Leo, and me are playing like belting out Wicked for good in the salon,
or getting matching
playing
tattoos.
Disney or something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
That
I think
energy.
for me though, like I definitely, you know, like I said before, like I never in a million years would have thought that I would be in the hair industry, or at least like so involved in the hair industry. I knew he always had a goal to have a salon, but I never thought that it would be a part of my journey. But I think it's everything that I lacked from the corporate world in terms of like the energy, the fun, that. But then I've still got the ability to bring myself in my own lane to it as well, which is, you know, I guess that little bit more of that, you know, I guess polished service structure, background, finance, all that sort of stuff. And then now that, like, I guess I've been in the game for, you know, like 7 years now, I think I have that nice balance of having that corporate side, but also am tapped into the industry enough to understand it from a creative side as well.
Yes.
Where it's, you know, I feel like, you know, some people, and I know we're going to talk about the business series a little bit later as well, but one thing that I found in the feedback that I've gotten of people that have tried to get business advice or business help of people in the past, especially when they're so creative mind, is that they'll get, you know, no offense if I doubt they'd be watching, but some 60 or 70-year-old bloke in his suit and tie in some office that doesn't even know what, you know, a full head of foils is, trying to give them advice and how to
that salon environment.
100%. They, you know, hairdressers, creatives, like, are incredible people and they're so talented, but they operate so differently to how, you know, a boring corporate person like myself used to be.
You understand the day to day.
100%. You need to know the ins and outs of it.
Touching on that as well, like back when Ayden first started, because he was so businessy on that side, I said to him, you need to do your apprenticeship. And it wasn't because I was trying to force him to do it, but I said, I promise you will understand us so much more.
Did you actually do your apprenticeship though?
We did.
Your
we
face.
started.
Did we complete?
No.
but you know, lucky in Australia, you don't have to have a fully.
Yeah,
you can work under someone.
I've seen you with a tongue in your
Yeah,
head.
he's great.
I've seen you with a tongue.
He does it at our classes.
Yeah.
But I said to him, I said, I promise you, because like what you see in books, right? Everyone can say it's true. Like what you see in the books, what it looks like, it can look so structured, but at the end of the day, hair is hair, and it's going to operate how it wants to operate. You can only put in the best structures and strategies to make it as best as possible. But all these things happen, and I said it to him. I said, I promise you, when you start tapping in, getting on the floor, understanding that side of it, I said, I promise you right now, it will elevate the way you see business again within the hair industry from a salon point of view. And it literally helped so much as well, like seeing it from that point.
Yeah, I love that. What were some of those things that you think shaped you both in those early days?
Hustle. No.
Yeah.
Hustle.
You know what?
Definitely.
No, it was.
Grinding.
And I feel like we did, even though we were so young at the time, I think we had such an old school mentality of, you know, not everything's handed, like you got to work your ass for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kaine was doing like extreme hours, like, you know, 60,
even the
70
solarium
plus.
store. I love that.
I forgot about that. I was like, oh my God, wait, solarium. I worked there.
Like at the start of what was Kaine Vakai hair artistry, I feel like he was doing like something ridiculous, like 70 hours a week. Like
I
even
was,
if there was a call that came through at like 7 o'clock at night,
I would do
you
it.
know, and someone was like, "Oh, can I get in for like a half a head?" He's like, "Babe, just go home. Like, I'm going to do it." Like, whatever. Like, it was that hustle mentality, which I know maybe, you know, fast forward 7 years is probably not the best thing for everyone. But, you know,
I
for
think
someone
it's a
who,
stage. It's a career stage,
It's a
right?
career
Like
stage.
you got to know
and it's
what-
hunger to want to grow,
when to knuckle down.
progress. Yeah.
And
it's what you can handle, which he can definitely handle it.
I think as well, it's like the starting point. And like what Ayden was saying, like we both didn't grow up with $1 given to us.
No.
Yes, my mum might have had a salon and things like that. And
We never went without, but
No, I never went
we
without.
never went without, but we, you know,
you had to work.
100%.
I had to
I mean,
work my ass off.
it's
we were
obvious
taught
in
how
your
to-
stories.
Yes,
you know,
to work. Yeah.
It wasn't, nothing was handed. Like to
Yes.
get our salon, we had to get a business loan. It's not like we had the money
Well,
there.
it was actually a personal loan that I said that I was getting a car for, but
oh,
You
truth
know,
comes out.
yeah, know the dodgy ways of the bank. So
like it wasn't all just handed or anything like that. It was like a lot of work and stuff. And
yeah.
for me, right, when we opened up the salon, like it was hustle. I loved, like, and I can physically say it to this day, I love what I do. Everything that I do in our career, in our industry, for the business, whatever, I love hair. Hair is what I love. I love people. I love being around people. So for me, I wanted every single client because my goal was to keep building the salon. I wanted us to build.
grow.
And I understand the hustle side of it. You have to hustle.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it because I still hustle now. The difference is
You're just
we've
hustling
learned.
different.
We're hustling different now.
Yeah.
We're still hustling. We're still growing. We're still trying to open new things. We're still trying to start new business. Like it's a different hustle. But the only way we have gotten to where we are now is the hustle from the start also.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. Can you talk us through then some of those breakthroughs and career defining moments that happened early on in the piece?
Early on in the piece. Yeah.
Because he talks about hustle. Like the hustle is obvious. I mean, I think that's obvious
Yeah.
to everyone. Like the
Yeah.
work ethic, the hustle, just hearing about how you both in jobs, 14, 9 months, like as soon as you could possibly be.
I was working at Macca's at 12, but
Yeah.
not
forging signatures, getting paychecks
Literally.
back in the day.
yeah.
But I feel like that is like literally like those little traits as well, because tell you right now, if someone came and told me that in an interview, like if someone was coming to apply for a job with us and they told me that, they'd be hired in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because I always say, and when we're at our education classes and, I might have like a few words with people like, outside or after the class and they're like, blah, 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 what do you look for and all that. I always say you can't teach personality, work ethic. You can't teach that, where you can teach a skill set. So I think if someone came and said that, I forged my mum's signature to get a job at Macca's, I'd be like, you're hired.
You got the job.
Can you start on Saturday?
Yeah, literally. No. Look, defining moments. I mean, are we talking like early? Because I feel like I could
Just anything. I mean, I feel like
I would, I can go off the bat. I don't think it's just pigeon. Like, I feel like we're still learning those lessons even now and today, and it's helping us like with everything. And, to get real vulnerable and deep, there was a super pivotal point in our journey when, we had, a bit of a hiccup along the way, which in the long run, it was absolutely not a hiccup. It was, something that was like super essential for our growth, learning us as leaders. And, we did have, a few team members turn over and leave our business, which at the time that was probably,
like death.
In our
No, I'm serious.
No, it was a death. It was an affair. It was everything all wrapped in one. It was like you lost your brother, you lost your sister. It was literally all of it that was nestled into one big
and
learning lesson. But I think, to be honest, like when we got through that mentally, like it was a big 3-month kind of like time that for us was a massive blip. But, on the other side of that, if I think back to if I was ever asked, like, what is one crucial moment for growth and learning as a leader, as a business owner, as someone in the industry, as like someone that people look to and get advice of, that was probably like the biggest moment that kind of helped us to grow and become stronger, better leaders and everything. Yeah.
Because prior to that, and I'm not even like tooting our own horn here. Like we were very lucky. I think because we were working 24/7, right?
And still
are. Everything prior to that didn't feel like a negative. It just always felt like a positive. And I say this to everybody. I'm like, I think we were just very lucky. We just were pushing. Our team was like our family. And like, that's being honest. Like we were so close and there was just so much happening. So there was never really anything that felt like it shook us in those early days. So I think when this happened, it felt like all the little things that maybe other business owners might go through, we got it at once. And that's how it felt like to us. Like it felt like, it was very, very emotional. And it took 6 months to even just comprehend, to even get over it. Like, and I'm not you know what I'm like. I'm a very like,
I think I
positive.
literally I say it to everyone. I was like, at that time, I think we'd been together for 10 years. And in the 10 years that we were together, I'd never seen Kaine like cry. Practically never seen him cry. And it was just so happened that we literally had just gotten back from like his first like international like for working over in the USA symposium, and it was like such like a overwhelmingly happy experience. We had so much work lined up on the back of it when we got home, like traveling, education, this and that. And I just remember like, you know, again, Kaine was still showing up for socials, but like at that point he was literally turning off the camera and then sobbing. Like that's it. It was like, you know, I know this sounds like really bad for me to say about him, but because I had struggled with mental health for such a long time, and it was something that he was so supportive and helped me through as well. In our journey, it was like almost the roles reversed for a hot second, and I had to kind of like
nurture me,
bring myself
Change
out
gears.
of my headspace to sort of nurture him for a minute. And secretly, I was like, well, now you know that I'm not full of shit, and you know what the struggles of mental health is. But you know,
but it was
Kaine is such like a resilient person, and
I didn't train like, and
for him to not go to the gym,
I didn't go to the gym for 2.5 months. I gained like 7 kilos. Like, but like I was like, I even went on anti-anxiety tablets, which I've never been on before. But it was because I was like, I still have to go to work.
He has to show
I
up.
have to show up. We've got 5 new, like we had new team members starting. Like it felt like I didn't even like going into the salon at that one stage. I was like, I can't come here.
We felt like we lost our home a bit.
I felt like walking in there just felt like negative. I was like, being here is negative.
It's so hard when you're in the moment, isn't it?
I mean,
you do not see the light.
It's so hard when you're in the moment, but now that you're through it, it's like such a different perspective.
You know what? I think because we are blessed to have so many beautiful friends. Like, you know, Cherie Noble, her salon's only Bixie Colour is literally up the road from us. It's only a 5-minute drive. You know, we lent on Nat Ann, who is obviously just like, you know, an icon of the industry, as is Cherie. And I think because they had
amazing people.
We had great support, and you know, we leaned on those people. We asked for advice of those people, and I think I I was crying to Cherie once, and then we were literally about to do a Kaine x Cherie Noble class, and I'm at the front trying to get some like BTS of their day, and then I was like crying to her, and she's like, "Oh, babe," she's like, "It's happened to me about 4 or 5 times. It's not business without it." I was like, "Are you sure?"
And Nat said it as well.
Nat said the same thing.
It's normal.
It's a part of business.
And it was just your first time.
You know, honestly, like going back to your question, I don't think that there was many points that were like super pivotal. Fuck me, this word pivotal. But you know, out of all of them, that was our biggest lesson and growth point in business.
I think the reality is, though, you don't learn from the success.
No, you don't. No.
You don't learn from the success. Success is nice. Success is beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's not forever. And there's no
100%.
real learnings
100%.
that come out of winning.
Yeah.
It's 100% true.
No, you're
so when you're down and out in the dumps, in the trenches,
Yeah.
as a business owner, like that's where the learnings really occur.
Because you have no choice but to reflect
to keep going.
And grow.
And push through.
6 months from that moment, like I swear to you, even though it sounded like I went so like this, like and got on tablets and whatever, I was on that for literally 6 weeks. I went and saw a counselor weekly, twice a week. And I went and did a business coach. I went and did wellness and stuff. And I literally completely transformed my brain, because I was like, there is no fucking way anyone is going to take it down, because there's no way. I would never allow it anyways. And I will show up and pretend for the sake of that period, because I know I'll get out of it. And that's what happens. And now I look back at it and I'm like, I say it all the time. I even said it to that person. and they know. I said, I was like, it was the fucking hardest thing, but the best thing that ever happened to our business. And they also said, I know, I can see it.
Yeah.
So it was the best thing. It's actually what has shaped us to this day on how to actually grow our business 10 times more. So it's been the best thing for our business. It's what taught us to be resilient, be strong, mentally be capable to handle anything that comes in our way now, because it's going to happen again, not just in our business, like with our staff members, because we love our team, but anything that we go through that's going to be hard. You have that in the back of your head now going, it's also normal.
Oh, 100%. And I think as well, because, and you know, I'm absolutely not talking down to those people as well, because at one point in time, they were a massive part of my life and, you know, such close and great people. But what it did allow for our, you know, talking from a business perspective, what it allowed was, you know, people that were so, I think, connected to the brand that we were building and, you know, saw what we could offer them in terms of education and growth. And, you know, we had literally from that moment, like a plethora of people that wanted to come and work with us. And they were so in tune with our vision, our goals, their own goals. And I think, you know, why we are so, you know, so structured with our team and we have so much pride in them is because they're all here for the same growth and goals that we had when we were in our early business days. And I think it allows for like such, you know, great conversations with them and growth for them. And, you know, we can be, really in tune with what they want as well. We've got the right people with us that want to be with us. So not just for a job.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like building a business is just so hard when you're building it from the ground up.
Yeah.
You know, just speaking from my own experience, as you both know, I've only just
100%.
gone through that myself, right? Like in my late 30s, building.
Hey, if we can talk about a growth story, man, like that has gone from flaccid to full.
Oh, it's not. This is about you. It's not about me.
It's
not about me.
Full
we're talking about you, two boys. You know, we all know the toll it takes. Building a business, you know, going through catching those curveballs. You know, like even what you just shared, Kaine, I'd never heard that part of that story before. So thank you for sharing. But what do you want to say to business owners out there who might be experiencing a hard time at the moment?
I think,
I mean, if you want to let me, I can definitely take the reins of that.
Take it and then I'll jump on the back of you.
Because you jump on the back of me.
Okay. All right, guys.
All right.
Let's not get spicy.
Kind of podcast.
That's the only way.
Yeah. Sponsored by yeah, look, I think mental health, and I think I've even opened up to you about this, Al, is like mental health is such a big part of, you know, like I would almost, maybe not so much these days, but it has been almost a big part of like, you know, my identity for a short while, which was like, you know, a strong part of who I was. And it kind of like, unfortunately took over who I was. And like quickly to fast forward to this day, like I feel very strong within my mental health these days. I still struggle. Everyone struggles, but, on the road connecting with other business owners has definitely helped me in a way. When I help them, they
so
help
important.
me.
So important.
Because I normalize things by like talking to other people that are in the same boat as me about it. And I think it definitely stems back from, you know, early days. Like I'm talking high school days when, you know, I struggled with like, you know, low level OCD, and then it kind of like evolved. And I don't mean OCD like, you know, have a pencil straight. I mean like debilitating OCD where I would literally, you know, to go super personal, like scold myself in the shower or, you know, my knuckles would be bleeding from like turning the light switch on and off, like that kind of depth of OCD. Like I was in a really dark place from that. And I remember the first time because I tried to hide it for so long, and then Kaine caught me like flicking the light switch, I think about 15 times up and down. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, look away. I'm like, don't look at me.
I didn't know what OCD was. So,
literally. And then like bless him, he did so much like research on it to like kind of just like help me out with it, because he's like, now I'm not going to help you, because I would say to him, I'm like, babe, please open the door for me. And he's like, no, I'm not going to help it because this is what I need to do to help you.
My family knew. So like with volumes on the TV, they would make sure it would sit on a certain level.
Except for his dad.
To cater. Yeah.
His dad would always put it on like 49.
It took him a while. He got there at
just
the
put
end.
it on 50, please.
He got there at the end.
Anyway, but yeah, long story short, it was a massive journey for me. And then unfortunately it didn't just stop there. It evolved, and it evolved into, you know, something called relationship OCD, which is, you know, like Kaine's a very strong, mentally strong person where, you know, you say something to him, it goes over his head. He wouldn't even understand half the time, like the shit that you're telling him. But, you
True.
know, for me, like he could say one word wrong and I'd be like, oh, that's it. We're over. I'm like, I'm gonna have to, like I'm off the edge, like you know what I mean. But that was just unfortunately a product of like this snowballing over like what, like I'm talking like 10, 11 years of like snowballing, growing like a negative mental health avalanche. And then it kind of like got to this point where I was always like so like weak-minded but strong-minded in the sense that I was like I, you know, wouldn't accept help with anyone. I'm like, oh, you know, a psychologist, like, what are they going to do? They're going to tell me that, you know, because I ate a piece of toast in my childhood, that this is why fucking, you know, whatever, right? So, like, I was like, it's so mythical and magical. But then when I actually listened to him and went and spoke to someone, it was probably like the best thing I could because they normalized it so much for me. And I feel like having something so simple as someone else literally explain to a T what is going on in your brain without having to even say it yourself was just like such a like pivotal. Oh my God, this word is going to kill me.
You need to stop saying it.
Pivotal.
It's the transition.
It was a moment that changed for me. And just made things like so much clearer and took a little bit of pressure off. And I think, you know, yeah, it helped out. And I think like I was so surprised with like when we do education and talk to so many other business owners out there, like how many people were literally going through the exact same thing as what I was. And I was like, this is crazy. And I'm like, do you have this? Do you do this? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that's just a part of it, Dol. I'm like, I think that's what we've signed up for. But in saying that as well, I think like a message like for anyone that would be watching as well is that, you know, business is not easy, man, and it's not meant to be easy. And I think, you know, we have an idea of what success looks like, but success does not also mean that everything is like roses and fireworks. And it's not, it's just all this like, you know, oh, yay. Oh my God, now I'm making a bit more money for myself. Like, you know, all that sort of stuff. And you have this expectation of when you hit that milestone that you're going to like feel this like overwhelming like emotion of like satisfaction.
Yeah.
And then, you know, what the bad cycle is that you can really get yourself into this headspace of like, why didn't I get that feeling? And then you're just chasing this feeling that's like just literally not going to come. And that's not to say that you don't have beautiful, successful feeling moments of like, oh my God, we made it. We did this, we did that. Like, oh my God, now we're traveling with this, with that. Like those still come, but it's not as overwhelmingly exciting as what you set it up in your mind. And I think for me personally, it was a bit of a slippery slope of like, oh my God, I'm not achieving that feeling. And then I was setting myself up. And then I think Kaine helped me change this mindset of where I was so, because our work is 24/7 and we live together, work 24/7 together, which thank God we do work together. Otherwise we'll never see each other. But, you know, he changed my perception of this. And this is what I tell people now as well, is that, you know, it's only a negative perception in your mind if you are telling yourself that it's a negative thing to be working hard or, you know, to be chasing the success. If you're doing something that you do love to do, you change your mentality into, I'm getting to do what I love to do all day, every day, and, you know, with the people that I want to do it with and all that sort of stuff. And honestly, just that one conversation really changed my mindset and turned it from being a bit negative that we work all the time and don't have as much just pure personal to this is what we love to do. We get to do it together and we're thriving. So yeah.
And absolutely thriving.
Yeah.
You've got to, it's the way it is. And it's like, you've got to change the mindset. We're here to work hard, right? And it's chasing whatever success looks like to every individual.
Which also changes.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? When you're on the journey, what success looks like
never
changes.
thought we'd be doing this, doing extensions, doing what we're doing this much education. That was never a part of the journey. It is these things become a part of it when you start to grow into them and when you start to feel like you can do it. And like, you're never going to feel set up, but that's the things that are coming with it. So anyone out there as well who might be feeling a little bit stuck or feeling a little bit, you know, not in the right head, like exactly what Ayden said, but you've got to, those are normal. And it's just trying to find a way where you can really structure it and maybe come up with a strategy or something that's going to help the business or a system or something to make it a little bit more easier. But that also comes with time. So
I think
mean,
just sorry, you go.
the biggest thing I took out of that is like, one, building a business is hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Full stop. End
Yeah.
of. Like anyone that's building a business built a business from nothing.
Yep.
And I think like in my mind, it's just that mindset shift that
100%
problems are going to happen. Like my job as a business owner is to solve problems. And when you have that mindset, it just the way you approach things is so different. Like you're not expecting bad things to happen.
No.
But it's like as a leader, as a business owner, you know, like as the co-founder, that's just a reality. That's the job, right?
100%.
And so that's probably like one of the things I took out of it. And the second thing that you said, Ayden, is like just talking about it, like just taking the shame out of if you're having a hard time. Like
100%.
someone standing right next to you is probably feeling something very
100%.
similar. And I think in this industry as well, like the industry from what I see is changing. But it's about like connecting with your community and your peers and just having that network. You know, you talked about
100%.
Cherie, you talked about Natalie, and you know, you guys have got such a tight crew. Like just really leaning into those people because someone else is definitely going through it and it just takes the weight off.
100%
When you
it
know
does.
that.
Yeah. Because I think you go into business thinking, oh, I'm going to be a business owner, but you're not. Like the word business or, you know, shop or whatever you've got is like, it's not just a thing. Like the word business, you've got a team. And even the word team, that's a whole, you know, a
But
group
even-
of people that you're literally taking care of them emotionally, you're taking care of them for their life, their financials, like, you know, you're worrying about your own financial situation, money, staying afloat, all that sort of stuff.
And even freelancers, self-employed, everyone out there, because it's not just a team,
no.
right? Even though we've got a team, there are so many
That's
out
our
there.
experience.
That's
but
our experience. Like, but when it comes to like freelance stuff, there is so much things to do. But it's a part of it. And the one thing is like, and I like, you know, I am very sometimes like, you know, and it's taken me so long to build up to this, but these are the things that shape the business, shape you as a person. You need to go through these things personally because it's how you grow from a business point of view. So when something comes up and when you go through a moment, how we cope with it is how we change it. The way we cope with it now is something will happen, and instead of freaking out, which is a normal reaction, we're human. You can have a freak out, but then it's like, what are you going to do straight after it? What's your solution? What are we going to fix? How are we going to overcome it? What are we going to do to grow from it? What are we going to change? They're the things you need to focus on because that is how you evolve the business and you don't get stuck. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get stuck and it's normal. But now it's about moving forward, growing. What do we do? How do we change it? How do we fix it?
So if you've just gone through it or you're going through it now or you're about to go through it, use it as a lesson for how you can grow and what you can change.
I think it's also just like reminding yourself you can do hard things. Like just because you haven't
100%.
hit a hurdle in a while doesn't mean that you can't do it.
No.
That's it.
That's how you will push past and you will keep going.
And don't be afraid to have a good doctor.
A doctor, I mean, that was the last point I was going to say is like, we just need to seek professional help. Like seeing a psychologist or seeing a counselor, it's just like going to the gym, but for your brain.
100%.
And just, you know, accepting that and how you'll feel after that fact. But something that, you know, this might not relate to you guys, but my son was born at 27 weeks. So he was in the ICU for 10 weeks. And he was our first child. And like anytime I hit a roadblock in my career, I'm like, girl, you birthed your first child at 27 weeks. You can get through anything. And that's literally the story that I tell myself in my mind when I've hit a roadblock that feels like the world is over. Because sometimes that's how it feels, like when you haven't hit a hurdle for a while. And that's just a story I tell myself
and it's
every time.
And it's good because that's what that tells your brain to stop. And goes,
100%.
And you keep going.
100%. Like I actually wrote it down on a card and I just like read it to myself every now and then.
See, I love that though.
Oh, thanks for sharing, Ayden. That was going deep.
Send me a DM if you're struggling.
Now we're pivoting slightly, talking about education because, you know, it's just so synonymous with House of Vakai now. You know, it's the cornerstone of your work, both in Salon and when you're touring globally. Obviously, you've got the hair extension product now, so you're also educating on that. But how did that all come about? How did it start?
The starting point was I applied for, Redken had a digital academy. So they were like, it was in COVID. That's how it happens. And they were like, we're going to do things digitally because everything's moving online. And that's when that whole online presence really started to become a massive thing.
Yeah.
So I applied for it. I did a trial. Not a trial, sorry. I did a video where I had to send in a submission. It was a 30-second video. And I'm telling you right now, back then, I didn't do camera shit. Didn't do the speaking to the camera. I didn't like the way I sounded, all that kind of stuff, all of that jazz. Like it was honestly true. And posted the video. I got announced on a live on a Redken live night, and that's how it started. I did an 8-month course with them, and at the end of that 8-month course, it was a 15-minute presentation in Piedmont at the academy of me showcasing a color, all pre-done with a presentation with a slide for 15 minutes, and I just had to talk about the color. And that, I swear to you,
was a shit show.
it was a shit show. It was
I was standing at the back of the room. He literally said the exact same sentence about 4 times, but just added in a couple buzzwords. And I was like,
remember
you need to wrap it up. I'm like, change it. Come on. Come
Is
on.
that you in the back row twirling your finger?
Yeah. And the Redken crew.
I was shitting myself because it was the first time getting up and speaking. There was 20 people there. First time doing public speaking in a setting like that, being professional, being, because it's different. When you're doing stuff like on a Snapchat, which is what I was doing then. I wasn't really doing storytelling even then through social media. There was none of that. It was I was very new to that side of it.
It was a new environment.
It was a new environment. And even though it looks like right now, it looks like I've been doing it for years and I just was come out of my mum's womb confident. It wasn't like that 24/7. It's taken me a long time.
It's a good reminder though. It was like when we interviewed you at Main Stage and you talked about how you, like, what was your strategy around knuckling down on social media? And I remember my jaw hit the floor when you told me my strategy in the beginning was literally just to like unfollow the people that I looked up to because they would make me feel like I wasn't enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think people forget like where everyone started.
And not because they were like making you feel like that. It's because he was working
100%. It was a mindset. It was a mindset thing. Yeah.
I wasn't confident. I didn't feel like I had it. And I think this is the thing. And there's every class that we do, like that's the big, I talk about social media in my classes like the next thing to hairdressing. And the reason why is because I want people to feel so educated and inspired and confident with themselves, because it's the one thing that stops us from actually growing 10 times more than what we realize, because we do not see what we have. And I think that's why it's such a big thing for me. So like, that's how like the whole education started, because that was my first one. And I remember that feeling after it, even though it was a shit show, after it, in my brain, I was so liberated. I was like, I was on a high. I was like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. Like, this is amazing. And that night, I remember we went to dinner in, where were we? It was at Piedmont at the Star. And then I remember when I did drink, actually, I got drunk with 2 of my staff members back then. And I went to ARC and I left her at 2. And the next day I had the actual class as well.
Oh, God.
But I went the next day and I was like, I was like on a high. So I was just like, I just felt great. And I just said, we need to do this. We need to do this. And that's kind of how it birthed. We started doing our education. We did everything rural first. We still would love to do rural now because I know we don't do enough of it. But we started going rural, traveling everywhere. And when we first did our education, we didn't make money. The first year we lost money. We didn't sell tickets really. We gave tickets out for free, but I needed to learn how to be an educator.
Well, it's not that we lost money, but we undersold what we should have, but we wanted to get ourselves out there. And I think we knew that, having a bit of, I guess, both worlds, the creative and the business at the time, which Kaine, has come leaps and bounds with business these days. He'll school me on business. But, I know we had a very unique POV that wasn't out there at the time in terms of education. And I knew that, knowing the people that we were going to give and give and give. And we wanted to make sure that we got out because, the people that were supporting us on, Kaine's online platform were mostly people in regional areas and people that connected to him from where he was from and all that sort of stuff. So that's where we wanted to start our journey and get out to those places because they're not particularly places that are visited by many educators. So then we started there and then just grew.
I mean, cut mine out, cut my edit out. That one's better. Stick with this one. Then come to me after. Please. Thank you.
Now, Ayden, you launched the business series in 2025. How did that all come about?
That came about because I think at that point of time, we were doing education on the road for about 3 years. And we were always, it was always important for us to evolve our education year on year, either, do something a little bit different or add a new element to it. And as I was adding those elements, there was I would do a little bit more of a formal business piece in there, as opposed to just like, hey, if you want to chat about business, come talk to me, right? So we kind of like set aside a half an hour slot
Business
or
section.
45-minute slot in our in our class to talk about business. And then I think in that year of education, it was kind of like, it was great. Like, I think it was the biggest year that we'd had. Well, it was the biggest year that we'd had in education up until that point. And,
Yeah.
a really good balance of business owners, apprentices, and I was getting questions from apprentices about, the perspective of a salon owner. And then I was getting questions of business owners that were either new in the industry or they'd been around for, a little bit, but felt a bit stuck or uninspired. And then, I was talking to Kaine. I was like, you know what? I'm getting so many people that coming up and, in all honesty, are asking the same questions as well about business and finance. And, I don't really have the you side of the business that knows the money and the this and the that. And, I'm a creative and I just love to be creative, but I don't really have time for the other side of it. And I think, whilst there's a few other, and very knowledgeable business owners out there that offer a similar, style of education in terms of like the back end and the admin and the finance and the business perspective. But I think something that I've always been super proud of with Kaine and I is that, we're in our education, we're, quite relatable. We drop the F-bomb here and there. So people like that personal connection with us and having a bit more of that intimate one-on-one time. And then we kind of sat there and spoke about it. And I was like, well, why don't we launch a business education similar to what we do now, but it's not just a one-day thing where, because, business is so...
There's so
It's
much.
not like
So much.
Yeah,
not like I
there's
can
so
stand...
much you can cover.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not like I can stand there, do a model on business, and then people record it and then take it away and then go replicate it at home. It's a lot more convoluted and there's so many more topics to go into than just that. So, whilst there is education out there where, you can, get advice, or you can go get a business coach talk to you or Zoom with you just for the day, I wanted to have something there where I was, at arm's length. I could be, contactable. You had ongoing support for the business, not just that one-off kind of education, which is why then we brainstormed the business series. And then it was a 6-month time frame where people, would work through online course content on the Beauty Grail. And, had access to that, had access to resources that we literally have in our own business and the structures that we have in place that, have what we think have, contributed to our success in business and outside of our
100%.
salon. And we wanted to offer that to people, but then not just stop it there, also have the ability to then be able to, when something does pop up down the track, or it's maybe something that you haven't experienced yet, but may in the next 6 months' time, have that access to jump on a Zoom call with me, no matter where you are in Australia or the world, and, get that like real-time advice, or, when did you go through this? What did you do? Sort of thing. So, many a meeting in our backyard,
many meeting at that table
with at the round table out the back, and
many a cuddle with Chloe.
Many a cuddle with Chloe,
Many a
and
fridge
then,
cigarettes.
Yes, I was going to say it. A few
smokes here and there.
a few Winnie Blues out the back, and and then it kind of just happened, and then it honestly has been a great learning journey, even for me as well, because I think. And to be a little bit like vulnerable here, I think because Kaine did have such a presence online, and, completely my fault. I was not putting myself out there as much, and still maybe not the as much as I should be on the onlines. But for a period of time in our business, I was getting like a little bit upset, and this was, I guess, maybe contributing to my mental health a little bit at the time as well, because I felt like there was, I wouldn't say 100% balanced amount of work going into the business, because Kaine definitely was putting a lot more into, I guess, the planning. He's just wired a lot differently to many people. And I had to accept the fact that I'm just not as hardwired as what he is. But I think I was at a point sometimes where there was like a lot of like online notoriety and like, all that sort of stuff, which was going to him. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I work really hard too. But, and I completely understood that was my own fault, and it was, no one else's fault. But when we started the business series, and I remember we were sitting in the room, I had my green screen on, and we had that first connection with all the attendees, and I literally got so emotional because I was like,
I remember.
I found, you were on the
I was
call,
on
and
it.
I was like, I think I found like my thing that I'm gonna have my own bit of identity
Spark.
for.
Yes.
Yeah, and my
Yep.
spark, and I
It just makes
knew,
sense. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I know you
100%.
guys because we worked on that project together, but it just
Yes.
makes sense.
It did.
100% it does.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
did.
also about touching on, like,
Yeah.
feeding on into what Ayden's saying. I've always said to him, though,
Yeah.
like, I want him to do his thing. Like,
Yeah.
you do your thing. There is so much that you can do and
Yeah.
offer. So I'm like,
Yeah.
just do it. Like,
Yeah. And look, you know, even like we're, you know, coming close to wrapping up the business series for this 6 months, and as it's, you know, learned, and it's going to evolve into something new next year.
Yes.
But you know, I've learned so much, and you know, the connections that I've made with these beautiful business owners, and you know, the feedback that I've received off them has been so rewarding, because even just some really small things that have helped you know, them, you know, maybe just shed a new light, or just like a slightly different perspective on even, you know, just their finances has helped them so much. And I actually got an email 2 days ago off one of the attendees who actually just happens to be my nan's hairdresser as well. And she showed me that I think it was something crazy, like a 30 or 40% growth in her finances this year, from, you know, I guess the stuff that
Michelle?
I've helped with. No, that is, oh my God, no, that's Jess from,
Be Gorgeous.
Be Gorgeous.
Cool.
Yeah,
I
she's,
love Jess.
you know what, as a
love her.
person, she's just so gorgeous as it
beautiful.
is.
Yeah.
She keeps my nan looking stunning.
She's got such a beautiful nature.
But
She does.
beautiful nature. She's taken everything that Kaine has offered from the social media side. She's absorbed everything that I've offered from the business side. And it's like, when I see something like that just flourish, it makes me feel like amazing, because I've inherited some of those things off people like Mark Gardner, where he helps me to, you know, maybe do a few things with the business in the back end and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very excited for what's to come.
2026.
Yeah.
So what's the format going to look like for 2026?
We are changing it. We're
Yes.
changing the format.
We love a bit of change.
We love a bit of change. We're not scared of change.
Embracing change.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think something that I've learned as well over this time is that, you know, it's great to obviously have that time for access and things like that, to have that right-hand man that you can call up and things like that. But what I wanted to do was, you know, while yes, over Zoom is personal, I think I wanted to make it a lot more personal. And I guess to do that, we wanted to offer, I guess, different types of education for different levels of business owner, right? So I think one thing that I've learned is, while we tried to cater and tailor the business series to every kind of business out there, whether it's a one-man band or it's, you know, a multi-salon, you know, company, which it has been, because we've had those attendees, and, you know, Be Gorgeous, Jess, she's a one-man band. And then I've got some other great ones in Canberra and Melbourne that are all, you know, huge salons. I think going in and having that one-on-one personal targeted education, where I can get a whole bunch of information at the start, and then really come in for a 2-day period, and we nut everything out together and really just like dive in deep. We come prepared. We know what we're going to get into. So then we spend a solid 2 days just smashing through everything.
So
and then
shadow you.
Shadow me. I shadow them to shadow me. Yes. But yeah, so coming into a business's own space, where it's their comfort zone, it's their practices, it's, you know, not coming to me. I want to come to you. I want to see what your back room looks like. I want to see what your team space is. I want to see what your salon floor looks like, you know, what the client experience looks like, you know, be those eyes and ears to that experience in the moment. Sit on the desk, answer a few phone calls with you, you know, like all that sort of stuff, and really, you know, take it back to basics to then rebuild it back up again. And this is not to say that I'm doing this in a way where people don't know what they're doing, because that's not what it's about. And the people that I have been, you know, working with in the business series have been in business far a lot longer than what we have, you know, some of them. And, you know, it's just about getting that refresher. And, you know, we've been fortunate enough to learn off some great people, and then also come up and, you know, take pieces and create our own systems and structures, which have, like, you know, helped shape our business.
It's that peer-to-peer learning.
Yeah, 100%.
It's that peer-to-peer learning. And I think it's like the industry's changing, but just really leaning in and embracing that peer-to-peer learning.
Yeah.
And just being open to learning
100%.
from
And
That's
I
how we
think
grow.
Yeah.
I think
Only
as
way.
well, after that peer-to-peer learning, right, I think it's also super important to reconnect after that as well, because it's all good and well in the moment. You know, it's like that TVSN old school stuff where you see the flashing light, buy now, like 2 for the price of 1. And then you walk out the door, the ad goes off, and then you're like not as excited about it anymore, right? But, you know, to then reconnect a week or a fortnight later and go, all right, we went in, we've shaped it up, what worked, what hasn't been working, what do we need to tweak, you know, that sort of stuff. So that's what I want to then offer as like a really, I guess like something that I want to do essentially, right, in the business series. But then also, again, like I was saying, reflecting on that different people have different needs. They don't maybe need me to come into the salon for 2 days. Maybe they just want to catch up over a Zoom and troubleshoot a few things that are going on with their business. So if that's something that's more suitable for you, then, you know, to have that option, you know, living on the beauty growl where you can book in that time.
I love that.
And then again, if it's just literally some of the smaller insights or literally just the resources that we have, the structures that we have in place in our salon, whether it's just, you know, how we structure our social media with the team, or, you know, if you would like a copy of how we structure our one-on-one or our accountability with our team and things like that, to have those resources just living on the beauty growl so people can just grab something like that if they need a quick and easy thing to put into the business. So,
it just feels flexible.
100%.
Every possible way
More
to learn.
flexible.
Because every business is different.
Yeah.
So and every person's personality is different.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like the salon needs are different, the business owner needs are different.
100%.
Yeah. Are you going to call it Shadow You? Because did we just come up with that?
Because that's
good. Shadow you. I'll shadow you, Joel.
Yeah, I love it. So it's been a huge year. You've launched the product in collaboration with your door hair suppliers.
We have.
You've sold out so many times, and it's not.
I hate saying it's a good problem to have, but it is. But it's also not
a blessing and a curse.
A blessing and a
it
curse.
is.
Because it was also something that, in all honesty, that we said that we did not want to have out there. That was going to be a problem. But we have learnt, as you know, you learn lessons and you grow. Unfortunately, it's something that's unavoidable, because how did we even know the reach and the impact that was going to have? There's no way to foresee that. You know, exactly, like you can have a feeling, but you don't know how well it's going to go until it goes. And it went really well, and we're very happy.
Well done, guys. I mean, the product's
you.
beautiful. The colors are gorgeous.
Thank you.
What is next?
Oh, what isn't, babe?
What
I
isn't?
think that's a shorter list, to be honest.
What's next for the collab?
The collab, so for our collab, you know what? It's growing on the brand in itself, growing within the product. We definitely have a few things up our sleeve, but obviously
tell us
that's
what's
later.
up your
I actually
sleeve.
can't even say it yet because we're all. It's. I actually
look, I mean,
can't.
there's absolutely going to be an introduction of a new color as well. Yes.
There's new this, there's new that, but there's so many ideas that we have up our sleeve, and there's so many things that we can work on together that will help shape not just the hair extension industry, but also the industry in itself. So I think for now, it's just about going, there's a lot to come. Keep watching in that moment. And the only reason
we're watching, babe.
Yeah, keep watching. But like the tape, it's just, it's done amazing because, you know, extensions is, there's heaps of extensions out there, but I think, and I'm going to sound cocky here, but I'm proud to be like that with this because the 7 centimeter tape weft has changed the extension game because the education we're putting into it, the education portal, we're not only just setting up how to put in an extension, it's application, it's cutting, it's styling, it's creating colors that are made for hairdressers, it's, you know, social media marketing around that area, how we actually record content to grab, you know, consumers to come into. There is so much thought around what we do because again, we know what business is like and we understand it from experience with extensions ourselves. So coming up with a product that's different, that's flat to the scalp, that's got, you know, more sets, more hair in each set, less to put in, more time given back to your business. Everything is a positive, and that's why I'm going to keep it like.
And that's why I keep selling out.
That's why I keep sounding like I am like, this is the product you need in your salon.
It's just like, was it Taylor that got engaged?
Yeah.
How she's got extensions in it. Oh my God. When I saw that piece of content of her getting her hair done for engagement, like it just looks stunning. Like the color, the blends, the styling.
I think
it's show stopping.
Our biggest like unique POV is that we are not just hairdressers, because there's other hairdressers that have extension brands.
Of course, yeah.
But we are specialists of our craft in our own business that are still, even though we get to do all these incredible things and travel and, you know, all the, you know, the lights and the whatever, at the core of it, we are still so in touch with our business and what happens within the industry as well, and with our clients. And, you know, we live in a world that is consumed by color correction these days. And, color correction is such a big thing after COVID. And,
and it's not even correction like box colors. It's just everything's a correction these days.
Everything.
Blondes, brunettes, all of it, balayage.
And I think because we do have a very specific demographic that likes to come to our salon, which is, I say a specific demographic, but we have all different ages, colors, everything, right? But when we do so much correction in our salon, we're dealing with a very certain style of hair, which could be compromised hair from, heat damage or color damage, or, and these people are coming to us because they may, I guess, seek a little bit of inspiration off our stylists online. And I think with that in mind, we wanted to create something that we could use to, help make clients look at it and go, that would be perfect because I don't need to overcolor my hair, because I can combine 2 or 3 different colors together and create the color that I want without having to, potentially cause more compromise to my hair. So things like that. And I think, like you said,
and it's like what we have, our key benefits that are on everything that you physically see. And if you haven't seen it yet, honestly, go look at it. Everything is there, like down to the points of difference. And we have so many clients and consumers out on our markets and our socials, and that's why at the moment we're doing a stockist page which is going up in the next 2 weeks for all of our salons that are stocking it, so all of our clients know where to go. Like there is just so much benefits on there, that
we have our community page, which there is not a video that we will not reshare on that. No matter, it does not need to be aesthetic.
It's so nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
But, I think it's so easy to fall into that trap of aesthetic, online, which is still, I guess, important for a certain group of people, but we're all about like authenticity.
Just show you
about, having all ages, all different colors. I mean, gray blending is an incredible part of the industry these days. And I've always said, even for years, that I love grey color. Like I love people's salt and pepper. I think it's the most beautiful color.
It's gorgeous.
And I'm so happy that more women feel empowered. And, our beautiful salon manager, Emma, she is an absolute gun in that space. And, she has birthed this ability to be able to, bring all that. So I think what I'm trying to say is that, we're showing that authenticity online, and we have that ability where clients and consumers and potential clients, no matter where they are in Australia or overseas, can follow that community page. And
I love it. We're going to link the page in the show notes just in case anyone's not following.
And if you want to look at the extensions, head over to, honestly, get a trade account. It's free. Go straight to the education portal. Education is where our heart is because that's how we've built and grown. Go look at everything that we have there, and honestly, see it for yourself.
Forever uploading on there as well.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. Now, we've been yapping for an hour and a half, they've just told us. So we're going straight into lightning round.
Lightning round.
Lightning round questions. So buckle up. What's a myth about the industry you wish people would stop believing?
That hairdressers are dropouts from school.
Thank you.
They are
my gosh.
And it's just a trade, because you know what? It is absolutely not. He dropped out. But it is not, because I feel like to be a hairdresser in this day and age, you have to be so creatively minded. Creatively minded.
Same.
Yeah.
Creative minded. And the work, the technique, the brain power, the stamina, the energy,
everything. Customer service.
The service.
So much.
It is such a multi-hatted industry that you have to be as a hairdresser. And I think it is not, people may think, oh, you're just putting some foils in, oh, you're just going to cut it with some scissors. Baby girl, let me tell you, there is a whole plethora of education that comes along with these days with it. And you've got to be a pretty skilled person to be a hairdresser. So it's not just a high school dropout.
And the other one, when people you have to add this really quickly, is hair extensions break your hair. They don't break your hair.
Oh,
What it comes down to, which is what we've got on our education portal as well.
Of course.
It's consultation. It's choosing the right method. It's choosing the texture of the hair. It's understanding how much needs to go into the client's hair. There's so many things. It's like anything we do. Put up bleach, leave it on for too long. It can go wrong. All these things, it's part of life. So hair extensions don't break your hair.
I love that.
It's the consultation, it's the education, and I've got you.
Yes.
The education and application.
Baby.
What's one thing you think people should ignore and what they should absolutely double down on if they're looking to grow in their career and business? So what should they be ignoring? What should they be doubling
Or if
down
I
on?
look at this
I was going to say, you're probably going to say this from a social media perspective.
I'm definitely going to say it from a social media perspective. I think from a personal perspective, ignore and everyone has probably heard this online before, but it's so true. Ignore all the things that are happening in here that are making you feel like you can't do something. Fuck it, do it. You can do it. Push forward, grow. They're the things that you need to double down on. Double down on putting yourself out there. Double down on all those things that you really want to achieve. Come up with a plan with it. Double down on that plan. Get it out there quicker. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just enjoy it. Have fun. You evolve from doing it.
Just start and
Just
iterate.
start and do it. I
Yeah,
promise
just start
you.
and iterate.
Double down. I think, I don't know if this is doubling down, but I feel like if you find an opportunity for something and it scares you, I feel like you need to double down on that risk and
100%.
take, especially because I just want to quickly put myself back in the mindset of when we were 22, 23, and we got some great advice that, you know, if you lose this money that's going to start your business, who cares? You're so young, you can get that money back again. And I think that taught us as well that, you know, maybe if you are someone that's aspiring to be a business owner, double down on that risk and take the plunge for it, because, you know, we've been able to, with some, you know, trying times along the way, build a really beautiful, successful life for us. And that wouldn't have happened without, you know, taking the risk.
I love that. That's a perfect segue into the next question.
Okay.
So thank you, Dole. Who's someone in your life and career that had a profound impact on your journey? I feel like I know the answers to this.
Yeah.
But
I know, I think so too. But I think there's definitely been more than one. But I think the first one for us was definitely Mark Gardner. He was an incredible business owner, I think. And what I am even still, and I hope you're watching, Mark, love you. But even to this day, like, you know, as in 2026, we want to take on new journeys and maybe open another space.
No,
we are
opening another space.
It's opening July, August.
But
August, most likely.
Yeah, I'm like, don't be too ambitious.
Probably.
But I think back to him in the way that he structured his business. And I don't mean just his business in the sense of the one salon that he had, because he was incredible. He had multiple salons just within the Shire, right? And the way that he ran and operated those businesses, which no business is ever smooth. Every business is going to have a hiccup. A staff member is going to fight with each other or whatever. But the way that he handled his business and the way that he managed his people, and I think the influence that he had, where, you know, if he had a location open up, the people that were running that business were people that he has had by his side and knew his ins and outs of the way that he operated and, you know, his culture, his dynamic. And I think, you know, I want to draw on that and give opportunities to the people that are with us and really like take a leaf out of his book and grow the people that work with us. So I'm so in tune with the things that he's, you know, shown us even like, you know, 7 years ago now. But then of course, you know, like Cherie Noble, she's an incredible person that has helped us.
There's so many people. There's like the starting off with my family. There's this, like, there's dribbles and drabs through everything we've done in our life. So every person that we've met, so it's helped us grow and see the value that we could offer.
But I would say
you got to have your tribe of people.
I think, that's literally what I was going to say. Not even just like business people to look up to, but like my inner friend circle, because friends have always been like my blood to me. And I've always had like my close friends be like, you know, literally everything. Like I adore my close friends and I've always leaned on them for things. And, you know, my mum as well, like, you know, she's been through a lot too. And, you know, it's just like, it's an ever learning journey off all different people. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, one of my career mentors actually gave me a profound piece of advice when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And she used to always say, she's like, the skills that got you to where you are today, whether that's a success, promotion, business goal, aren't the ones that are going to keep you there or get you to the next goal.
Yeah.
So I need to know from you, what's something that you're letting go of and what's something that you're honing in on?
Yes. Okay. We are definitely letting go of total control and I guess oversight of everything. I mean, maybe not oversight because we still do oversee and, you know, have influence. But I think, you know, we have the beautiful Brit who works alongside us now.
Love
And
Brit.
I think one thing that I can't encourage enough, and it was the advice that we got off other people as well, was that there comes a time where things are a lot and you still want to have all the hats, all of this, all of that. Make sure you've got everything. Go, oh no, I can do it. I don't need to hire someone. I can do it. I can do it.
So capacity thing.
100%. And I think for our own mental capacity as well as the success and flourish of our business, we needed to expand that team as well. So I think it was letting go of that need to be hands on everything and allowing people that are good at what they do to come forward and help you out.
Yep.
And still, I guess, oversee everything as well. Yeah.
And honing in on taking risks and building. I think, when you get to a certain point, like, I know that we're not that scared with doing things now that take a risk that used to scare me, because I'm like, I won't fail.
Yeah.
And if it did, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the learning.
It's fine.
The silver lining in the failure for learning.
I don't.
100%.
Yes.
That's one thing that I would say, and I think I said it before, but if anyone's about to, has been through, or is going through something like that, change the perception around this is really shit. I'm feeling so bogged into, okay, there's something that I'm about to learn from this and something that I'm going to do better about it in the future.
And also understand that this mindset has taken 7 years.
Yeah.
As well, on top of that. We 4 years ago wouldn't sit here and say this. This is now at the place that we're at now because we've gone through things for us to be able to get to this place where we can go, no, we can do it. We've got this. Let's keep pushing.
Yeah.
It does take time, and it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Love that. All right, final question. What's the next audacious goal you're working on right now for House of Vakai?
How many do you want to hear? How long do we have? No, it's definitely opening a salon.
Another location?
Yes.
Another location.
Locally or interstate?
Interstate.
Oh.
Interstate. And then we are doing extension education next year around Oz, obviously in the UK now and all that stuff. But we're doing our first Oz tour, all based on extensions. We have Grace, who's going to be an educator with us. We have,
Grace.
I know,
So
she's joining the education team. We've got Taylor joining our cover education team. We're like our team member, the team are all getting into the field of education. Lauren's becoming our salon educator. Like, there's so many things happening in our business with our team and with ourselves personally. And that's
honestly,
that's enough.
To give
Oh no, I've got one more. Oh, I can't say it no because I haven't got it accepted yet.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
But all I know is
come
that
on, give us a little teaser.
Wishful
thinking. If I get it, so I already know. Like, if I get this, I'm out of the next year. I'm out of the country for 4 months, regardless.
Yeah.
Doing classes and touring, and
we're gonna have to buy an apartment in the UK. I think.
But if I get this other gig, it will be something that will also benefit and really help. Not just myself, but, something that I've really wanted to do, and it's been a part of my goal for years. In
so you've been on your vision board?
So if I get it, then I'll be in New York 5 times next year. And then the year after that, I'll be in the US a lot more.
And then you tick that off the vision board, doll?
I'll tick it off, but there'll be 3 other things on there.
It
never stops.
No, literally. I was going to say there's probably not one thing that I can pinpoint because it's going to be ever evolving, ever changing. But I'm excited for it. And
I'm excited.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my darlings.
Thank you so much.
I always love
you.
yapping with you both. Can't wait to see what 2026 brings.
And we can't wait to do more with you.
I adore you guys.
Love you.
I'll be planted all over that thing, girl.
Oh, can't wait.
And also thank you for letting us run behind. Love you.
And thank you for watching as well. I appreciate it.
Kaine and Ayden, thank you so much for joining us, darlings. We have linked all your handles and details from this episode in the show notes. You've been listening to the Beauty Girl podcast, Not Just a Hairdresser. If you've loved today's episode, leave us a 5-star review. Make sure you're following the show from wherever you are listening, and we would love it if you share this episode with your community. To learn more about building your education online or leveling up your career, visit www.beautygrail.co. I'm Ali. Thanks for listening, and chat to you in the next episode, darling.